Okay.
Hello everyone, I'm here with Dr. Winslow and he is a neuroscientist. Thank you, Dr. Winslow, for taking the time to speak with me today.
You're welcome.
And can you give us a little bit of background about yourself and your experience in working with neurodegenerative disorders?
Oh, sure. And with a background in science, like you mentioned, neuroscience and bioengineering, I did a PhD at the University of Utah. And then I went to the Allen Institute for Brain Science, which is in Seattle. And they're a big part of Obama's Brain Initiative. So we are very interested in neurodegeneration and all these disorders that affect so many Americans, so many of our individuals that are associated with our families, older individuals. We worked with a lot of animal models as well as human models there as well. So when people died, oftentimes they would, those who had indicated that they were willing to donate their organs, we would harvest the tissues as well and have those stored there for staining and histology, as you mentioned.
Okay, I see. That's very interesting. Thank you for that. One of the things that we are learning as histotechnicians in our introduction to histology class is about the universal precautions, that you would handle every specimen that comes into the lab as if it was infectious. Is there anything that you would like to talk to us about?
Sure, absolutely. I mean, I think that in science, a lot of diseases have animals that model that disease. And so there's a number of precautions you would take with animal tissues, but there's certainly a different category when you get in with human tissues and some of the viruses, etc., that could infect you from that tissue sample. So the protections that are needed, of course, always hands, gloves, nitrile in most cases nowadays, depending on what you're doing with that tissue, as well as in some cases droplet protection, so masks and glasses, depending on what you're doing. So.
Okay, thank you. And one more thing that I wanted to ask you is, since this is an encephalopathy disease of the brain, right? Mm-hmm. How would you say that it is diagnosed, since it is in the brain?
Sure. So, and of course, when there's an effect in the brain that affects the whole individual, and it can be picked up via a number of different tools. So an individual would present with this to his clinician, often suffering from some dementia, some problems with memory. Of course, this is a very rapid disease, so generally individuals have it for a few months, and it is fatal, as all the other neurodegenerative disorders are. So if that was suspected but not totally confirmed by a physician visit, oftentimes they'd take a tissue sample, most often from the tonsils, and look for the telltale signs of the prions.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Winslow, for taking the time. And back to the class. Thank you.
You're welcome.